80 million baby boomers are now approaching their 60s and moving into retirement. While this transition may be difficult, the succeeding years can be fulfilling and invigorating. That, according to authors Richard and Linda Eyre, who have written the new book called Life in Full, and they are here with us this morning. Welcome back.
Good to be here, Dave.
You guys are regulars on this show.
Well, we have to.
So
you're the one.
How many books have the two of you combined to write?
I knew you'd ask that. This is our 50th book, but that's a little misleading. That's yours, mine, and ours, and that sort of counts everything over the last 40 years.
Okay, so 50 books. So how long does it take to go from the thought of Life in Full to where you're here today handing me this book?
This one took 40 years, right?
Yeah,
Linda?
you're right. No, this one actually went pretty fast when we decided to do it because we'd thought about it for a long time. You know, it's really, when we did this, I realized it's kind of exciting getting older. I like it. I mean, we talk about being over the hill, and think about it. When you get over the hill, it's downhill. You can see the whole vista. Everything comes into focus. The wind is blowing in your hair. You're going downhill.
It's the best part.
It's the best.
65 really is the new 45. I mean, it used to be 45-year-olds were saying, what am I going to do for the next 20 good years? That's what 65-year-olds are saying now. And we figured out before the show, we're sort of the oldest baby boomers. You're one of the very youngest. Yeah. And in between us are 80 million people.
80 million people.
Yeah.
So in this book, for those folks who expected life to be all downhill, but they get over that hill and then they see another hill straight up, what can they learn in here that might give them perspective?
Well, I think this is a book largely about attitude and perspective. That if you think you're going downhill, if you think it's all over, it's going to be tough from here on, it probably is.
Right.
But on the other hand, if you say, hey, I've got more experience, more freedom, more flexibility, probably more resources, more contacts than I've ever had before. I can do anything now. You know, you're a sports guy, Dave, and I still play tennis. I just dropped down a division or two. Golfers raise their handicap. Linda still bikes, but she's got an electric.
It's just fast.
I'll bet it is.
It's awesome. And you know, I think we need to think about our legacy. Now's the time to think about what are we going to leave for our children? How are they going to remember us? I think faith has a lot to do with it. I mean, there's a lot about that, and it's a huge influence on grandchildren. We can do a lot for our grandkids that their parents can't.
There's a chapter in here on planning, and a lot of us fail to plan.
Yeah.
And I would imagine of the 80 million baby boomers, there are a lot who are going, okay, what am I going to do now? Because I haven't quite planned for this. What can they do to start now that can make it better?
You're totally right. Yeah. Even people who've been planners all their life, they figure, well, now I'm done planning. Now I'm just going to coast. And the minute you start coasting, you're in a lot of trouble. So we suggest in the book, and by the way, we love that we're on this show with you because we're putting a lot of this stuff in our column in the Deseret News.
Right.
And so one of the things we're focusing on is the way you start planning is you just start with some folders. You have a folder for your health, a folder for your wealth, a folder for your grandkids, a folder for your bucket list.
Just a manila folder?
Just a plain old folder or on your computer.
On your computer.
And you just start collecting things. You meet someone who has a good idea, you put it in there. And that's the start of planning because you start saying, there's a lot of things I can still do with the next 20 years of my life, and it gets exciting.
As folks look into this book a little deeper, it's also kind of a pep rally, right?
It is.
Hey, you know what?
It is.
These can still be the best years don't have to be so long ago.
The best. In fact, we hesitate to tell our children how much fun we're having. Yeah. It really is a great time of life. There's so many great things you can do, and I think if you think about it, I mean, I did some planning in here, and what do I want from 65 to 75? 75 to 85, 85 to 95.
And you know, a lot of it, Dave, too, is protecting certain things, because if you lose your health, or if you lose your wealth, or if you lose your faith, frankly, then it is going to be downhill. So part of it is hanging on to what you've worked so hard to gain.
All right, where can I buy this?
Oh, anywhere.
Let's do the pitch.
Deseret book if you're local, but we buy everything on Amazon. It should be pretty much everywhere, this book.
All right, the book Life in Full, as mentioned, Deseret News and Amazon. Richard and Linda Eyre, thank you.
Thank
for
you.
Being here.
Always good to be with you.
We'll see you on the next book. How many books do you have in the works right now?
Only 2, and then we're done.
Only 2?
No, we're
tapping out at 52.
Saying that, we're never
topping out.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for being here today.